Alright, so now I can just sort of go to and from and whatever I please for these, for this stuff for the Thieves Guild. But since there was that one person that actually talked to me as well, I think I should do the Order of the Virtuous Blood.
Okay.
A Dunmer named Ralsal Norvallo has approached me in the Imperial City Temple District and asked me to meet her husband, Agillan. I refused for now, and she told me if I change my mind to come to her house, where she'll fill me in on all the details. Sure, let's go ahead and help him out. I have no idea what was happening there, but I was just basically on the job.
Yeah.
Sorry, but nothing else I can do. Is there any Nernroot around here? Yes, there is. Aha! Anything over here? Nope. Okay. Bouncing over the water, bouncing over the water. Gotta start practicing on athletic skills again, too.
Okay.
Oh! Hello, Timberwolf. Fancy meeting you here. Just the way he fell like that. There you go. Froze him to death. It would be cool if you could actually make an actual wooden door that had that Skyrim insignia on it.
Yeah, it would.
Where you just pound out all the rivets and everything in it too to make it look like that. That would be the coolest thing you could see in real life. And if you could make it an actual working door too, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Hello there. Indeed I do. Where is she? Ah, right here. Julian Norvallo?
Good. You've come back.
Yes. How can I help?
Normally I wouldn't approach a total stranger like this, but Gillen seemed so insistent. Please forgive my audacity.
It's alright, I just had no idea what was going on, and I was kind of in the middle of doing something kind of underhanded and sneaky.
Right.
Thank you. Gillen always tends to exaggerate, but in this case he sounded earnest, which worries me a bit. He said to tell you that the matter he needs help with is of the utmost importance to the citizens of the Imperial City. You're to meet him at Seradur's house, which is located in the Temple District. He said all will be explained when you get there. That's all he told me to say.
Okay, don't worry, I'll go.
Thank you. I'm sure he'll be pleased. I must go now. Good day to you.
You locked me in, ma'am.
Well, unlock it.
I come in, she locks me in, and then just says, no, go.
Well, she's like you. You lock the doors all the time.
Yeah, I know, but then, of course, I unlock him for a guest.
Okay.
It's not like I have, you know, stranger locked. No.
You never know.
Okay, so... Ceradir. Watch, it's like something on the Mythic Dawn or whatever. It's just like, I've come to murder you now.
Oh, jeez.
You look like someone. It's an honor to finally meet you. When I heard you were in town, I just had to send for your help. Your reputation precedes you.
Oh no.
Oh, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ceradir.
Pleased to meet you, Ceradir.
Likewise. Sorry to send Gillen's wife to get you in that manner, but it seems safer if we weren't seen on the streets right now. If you'll come with me.
Very well, lead on.
Splendid. Watch your step. I'm Sylvan Dolovas, assistant and bodyguard to Ceradir. Let's leave it at that.
Oh no.
This henchman.
Lead on, you dastardly devils of Daedric armor. Oh no. Stuck in a basement with only one way out.
I'm honored by your
Grey throat.
Nice to meet you. You must speak with Ceradir first.
Okay.
Welcome. You're now in the sanctuary of the Order of the Virtuous Blood. Few outside our circle have ever set foot in our hallowed hall. We are, for lack of a better word, defenders. We guard the city from an infestation that plagues it. We are vampire hunters. I'm sure you are familiar with these despicable beings, feeding on the innocent as if they were cattle. Well, this group was formed to combat them. Alas, we are but 3 old men, not able to match the fighting prowess of a vampire. We lack the strength to defeat them in battle.
The Order of the Virtuous Blood was also one of the religious temples in the very first Elder Scrolls Arena.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, you have a good memory.
Yeah. I remember that because I saw it when I was playing Arena. There's a lot of those orders and stuff like that in there. Very well, the vampire.
Our goal is to root out the vampires that live in our fair city. So far, we've been unsuccessful finding one, until now. It's come to the Order's attention that Temple District resident Roland Jensen is a vampire, and has already claimed one victim. That's where you come in. We want you to slay this vampire, and cleanse the city of his filth before he can feed or kill again.
Very well. Roland Genseric, tell me a little bit more about him.
A few nights ago, I was roaming the city as I often do, looking for any signs of a vampire. As I headed past Roland's house, I heard a cry. I rushed into the back garden to find Roland struggling with a woman he'd been courting. I tried to intervene, but he was too strong. He threw his lover to the ground and turned his attention on me. Luckily, I managed to run back into the street and escape his grasp. I hid for a while and then returned to the garden. Roland was gone, and the woman was dead. She had 2 puncture marks on the nape of her neck. That's when I realized he was a vampire. The Order needs you to track him and destroy him.
How do I find him?
I would start by searching his home. He hasn't been there for days, so it should be safe. Return to us here if you have questions. We meet at night.
Very well. Any more information?
His home is located in the Temple District, right across the garden from my home, in fact. Ironic, isn't it?
No.
Yeah.
It smells fishy.
Vampires are nasty creatures. They drink the blood of others to conceal their true nature. Such trickery makes them difficult to find. You may ask Gillen Norvallo or Greythroat about these creatures as well. They've learned much.
Rumors?
The King and Queen Tavern isn't a bad place to stay if you're visiting the city.
Very well.
Who knows when Roland may strike again? You must hurry.
They don't see me? Only folded clothing. It's not worth it. Smells awfully fishy.
Anything you require,
Because on top of that, too, he's got this bodyguard right here, so why doesn't he just follow him around and take care of the vampires?
I know.
I'm very happy to make your acquaintance.
Let's go up here. I do need to start stealing stuff, so... And anything worth stealing? Bam! Yeah, that's worth stealing. If I don't sell it to him, at least I can use them. Now this stuff. Jade sapphire ring and an ebony ring. Not bad. There we go. I now have my sellables when I go to Bruma.
That's good.
Hello, sir. Okay, here's Roland's house. Arrived at Roland and Siric's house, I should have begun to search the place for any clues as to his whereabouts. Nothing worthwhile there. Beef and ham and venison. Ham can restore health. Lots of boar's meat too. Shopping list. Apples, onions, lard, cheese, and milk. Let's go upstairs first. Some blackberries. Bam, there you go. Steel greaves and a dagger. Gold amulet. Take that. Some blue suede shoes. Gold, a silver bowl. Handbills. If you need quality arms and armor, you have to shop at a fighting chance. We specialize in custom fitted armor. Damage agility. Hourglasses. Some carafes. Nothing upstairs, so let's go down into the basement. Some tongs. You got a whole bar down here.
Jeez.
You need protecting. Wear armor made at the best defense. Will keep you safe from the sharpest blades. Three Brothers Trade Goods has a sterling reputation for honesty. We will always pay what your trade goods are worth and always charge you a fair price for what you buy. Clothes and an inkwell. Strong potion of might. We got skooma.
Skooma's bad for you.
I know. Doesn't appear to be anything down there. Weirdest thing. I didn't find anything for his whereabouts. apples and tomatoes up there. Tan lines, closing. God. There's nothing. Unless I'm missing something. Some parchment. Okay, so I searched this whole thing and I couldn't find a single shred of where he is or his whereabouts. Unless there's supposed to be some clues on the ground that I'm supposed to be looking at.
I think you got it all.
Honestly, there was nothing. Hey, let's go talk to a thief or a beggar. There doesn't even appear to be any thieves around here or any beggars.
That's odd.
Indeed. Well, one of the beggars is out and about. Where is she? I think that was the same one that helped me out.
What do you want her for?
She can give me some information about the guy. Oh, there they are.
My children will. Thank.
Sadly can't help me out.
Things of anger upon me.
Seriously though, I don't even know what happened. I went in there and I started looking for clues, and then after that, nothing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Back in we go. Gotta have missed something. Oh. A love letter from Ralphina. After searching Roland's home, I found a letter written to Roland from his girlfriend. It mentions a cabin where the two would meet. Its location east of the Imperial City in the Great Forest. I think this may be where Roland could be hiding. I should head out there immediately before he has a chance to escape. My dearest Roland, I cannot wait for you to return from Breville. My heart swells with joy as I know we will once again soon be together. I yearn for you every night that I look beside me in my bed, and you are not here. How I wish I could have taken the journey with you, but I understand that these are dangerous times, and I would only slow you down. When you return, perhaps we should get away from the chaos of the Imperial City. Let's go back to that cabin in the woods, the one where you said we would always be safe from the world. The one where you took me in your arms and sang songs of moonlight and happiness. The one where you said, I love you. Hurry, my love, Ralphina. That's a nice little sentiment.
Yes, it is.
And Avar Stonesinger. Yeah, let's go ahead and read this. It'll be fun. Sit quietly, child, and listen, for the story I tell you is a story of the ages. But what is it, grandfather? Is it a story of heroes and beasts? The grandfather looked patiently at the child. It was growing into a fine boy. Soon you would see the value in the stories, the lessons that were taught to each generation. Just listen, child. Let the story take root in your heart. In a time before now, long before now, when the Skull were new, there was a peace in the land. The sun was hot and the crops grew long, and the people were happy in the peace that All-Maker provided. But the Skull grew complacent and lazy, and they took for granted the lands and all the gifts the All-Maker had given them. They forgot or chose not to remember that the adversary is always watching, and that he delights in tormenting the All-Maker and his chosen people. And it is so was that the adversary came to be among the Skull. The adversary has many aspects. He appears in the unholy beast and the incurable plague. At the end of the seasons, we will know him as Thartag, the world devourer. But in these ages, he came to be known as the greedy man. The greedy man, that is what we call him, for to speak his name would certainly bring ruin on the people, lived among the skull for many months. Perhaps he was once just a man, but when the adversary entered into him, he became the greedy man, and that is how he is remembered. It came to be one day that the powers of the skull left him, the strength left the arms of the warriors, and the shaman could no longer summon the beast to their side. The elders thought that surely the Allmaker was displeased, and some suggestions that the Allmaker had left them forever. It was then that the greedy man appeared to them and spoke. You of the skull have grown fat and lazy. I have stolen the gifts of your Allmaker. I have stolen the ocean, so you will forever know thirst. I have stolen the lands and the trees and the sun, so your crops will wither and die. I have stolen the beasts, so you will go hungry, and I have stolen the wind, so you will live without the spirit of the Allmaker. And until one of you can reclaim these gifts, the skull will live in misery and despair, for I am the greedy man, and that is my nature. And the greedy man disappeared. The members of the skull spoke for many days and nights. They knew that one of them must retrieve the gifts of the Allmaker, but they could not decide who it should be. I cannot go, said the elder, for I must stay to lead the skull and tell our people of what is the law. I cannot go, said the warrior, for I must protect the skull. My sword will be needed in the case the greedy man reappears. I cannot go, said the shaman, for the people need my wisdom. I must read the portents and offer my knowledge. It was then that a young man called Avar lifted his voice. He was strong of arm and fleet of foot, though he was not yet a warrior of the skull. I will go, said Avar, and the skull laughed. Hear me out, the boy continued. I am not yet a warrior, so my sword will not be needed. I cannot read the portents, so the people will not seek my counsel, and I am young and not yet wise in the ways of the law. I will retrieve the gifts of the Allmaker from the greedy man. If I cannot, I will not be missed. The skull thought on this briefly and decided to let Avar go. He left the village the next morning to retrieve the gifts. Avar first set out to retrieve the gift of water, so he traveled to the Waterstone. It was there the Allmaker first spoke to him. Travel west to the sea and follow the swimmer to the waters of life. So Avar walked to the edge of the ocean, and there was the swimmer, a black porker sent from the Allmaker. The swimmer dove into the water and swam very far, and far again. Avar was strong, though, and he swam hard. He followed the swimmer to a cave, swimming deeper and deeper, his lungs burning and his limbs exhausted. At last he found a pocket of air, and there in the dark he found the waters of life. Gathering his strength, he took the water and swam back to the shore. Upon returning to the Waterstone, the Allmaker spoke. You have returned the gift of water to the skull. The oceans again will bear fruit, and their thirst will be quenched. Avar then traveled to the Earthstone, and there the Allmaker spoke to him again. Enter the cave of the hidden music and hear the song of the earth. So Avar traveled north and east to the cave of the hidden music. He found himself in a large cavern where the rocks hung from the ceilings and grew from the ground itself. He listened there and heard the song of the earth. But it was faint. Grabbing up his mace, he struck the rocks of the floor in time with the song, and the song grew louder until it filled the cavern and his heart. Then he returned to the Earthstone. The gift of the earth is with the skull again, said the Allmaker. The lands are rich again and will bear life. Avar was tired as the sun burned him. The trees offered no shade, and there was no wind to cool him. Still he traveled on to the beast rock, and the Allmaker spoke. Find the good beast and ease his suffering. Avar traveled through the woods of the Isinfire for many hours until he heard the cries of a beast from over a hill. As he crested a hill, he saw the bear. A falmer's arrow pierced its neck. He checked the woods for the falmer, for that is what they were, though some say they are not. And finding none, approached the beast. He spoke soothing words and came upon it slowly, saying, Good beast, I mean you no harm. The Allmaker has sent me to ease your suffering. Hearing these words, the bear ceased his struggles and laid his head at Avar's feet. Avar grasped the arrow and pulled it from the bear's neck. Using the little nature magic he knew, Avar tended the wound, though it took the last bit of his strength. As the bear's wound closed, Avar slept. When he awoke, the bear stood over him, and the remains of a number of the falmer were strewn about. He knew that the good beast had protected him during the night. He traveled back to the beast rock, the bear by his side, and the Allmaker spoke to him again. You have returned the gift of the beasts. Once again the good beast will feed the skull when they are hungry, clothe them when they are cold, and protect them in the times of need. Avar's strength had returned, so he traveled on to the tree stone. Though the good beast did not follow him, when he arrived the All-Father spoke to him. The first trees are gone, and must be replanted. Find the seed and plant the first tree. Avar traveled again through the Hirstang forest, searching for the seeds of the first tree, but he could find none. Then he spoke to the tree spirits. The living trees, they told him that the seeds had been stolen by one of the Falmer, for they are the servants of the adversary, and this Falmer was hiding them deep in the forest, so that none would ever find them. Avar traveled to the deepest part of the forest, and there he found the evil Falmer, surrounded by the lesser tree spirits. Avar could see that the spirits were in his thrall, and he had used the magic of the seeds and spoken their secret name. Avar knew he could not stand against such a force, and that he must retrieve the seeds in secret. Avar reached into his pouch and drew out his flint. Gathering leaves, he started a small fire outside the clearing, where the Falmer and the ensorcelled spirits smilled. All the skull knew or know the spirits' hatred of fire, and for the fire ravages the trees they serve. At once the nature of the spirits took hold, and they rushed to quell the flames. During the commotion, Avar snuck behind the Falmer and snatched the pouch of seeds, stealing away before the evil beings knew they were gone. When Avar returned to the tree stone, he planted the tree in the ground, and the Allmaker spoke to him. The gift of trees is restored. Once again the trees and the plants will bloom and grow and provide nourishment and shade. Avar was tired, for the sun would only burn, and the winds would not yet cool him. But he rested briefly in the shades of the tree. His legs were weary and his eyes heavy, but he continued on, traveling to the sunstone. Again the Allmaker spoke. The gentle warmth of the sun is stolen, so now it only burns. Free the sun from the halls of Penumbra. And so Avar walked west, over the frozen lands, until he reached the halls of Penumbra. The air inside was thick and heavy, and he could see no farther than the end of his arm. Still he felt his way along the walls, though he heard the shuffling of feet and knew that this place held the unholy beast who would tear his flesh and eat his bones. For hours he crept along, until he saw a faint glow far at the end of the hall. There, from behind a sheet of perfect ice, came a glow so bright that he had to shut his eyes, lest they be forever blinded. He plucked the flaming eye from one of the unholy beasts and threw it at the ice with all his might. A small crack appeared in the ice, then grew larger. Slowly the light crept out between the cracks, winding them, splitting the ice wall into pieces. With a deafening crack, the wall crumbled and the light rushed over Avar, and though the halls he heard the shrieks of the unholy beasts as they were blinded and burned, he ran out of the halls following the light and collapsed on the ground outside. When he was able to rise again, the sun again warmed him, and he was glad for that. He traveled back to the sunstone where the Allmaker spoke to him. The gift of the sun is the skulls once again. It will warm them and give them light. Avar had one final gift he had to recover, the gift of the winds. So he traveled to the Windstone, far on the western coast of the island. When he arrived, the Allmaker spoke to him, giving him his final task. Find the greedy man and release the wind from its captivity. So Avar wandered the land in search of the greedy man. He looked in the trees, but the greedy man did not hide there, nor did he hide near the oceans or the deep caves, and the beast had not seen him in the dark forest. Finally Avar came to a crooked house, and he knew that here he would find the greedy man. "Who are you," shouted the greedy man, "that you would come to my house?" "I am Avar of the Skull," said Avar. "I am not warrior, shaman, or elder. If I do not return, I will not be missed, but I have returned the oceans and the earths, the sea, the trees, the beast, and the sun, and I will return the wind to my people, that we may feel the spirit of the Allmaker in our souls again." And with that he grabbed up the greedy man's bag and tore it open. The winds rushed out with the gale force, sweeping the greedy man up and carrying him off, far from the island. Avar breathed in the wind, and he was glad. He walked back to the Windstone, where the Allmaker spoke to him a final time. "You have done well, Avar. You, the least of the Skull, have returned my gifts to them. The greedy man is gone for now, and you should not trouble your people again in your lifetime. Your Allmaker is pleased. Go now, and live according to your nature." And Avar started back to the Skull village. "And then what happened, grandfather?" "What do you mean, child? He went home." "No, when he returned to the village," the child continued, "was he made a warrior? Or taught the ways of a shaman? Did he lead the Skull in battle?" "I do not know. That is where the story ends," said the grandfather. "But that is not an ending. That is not how stories end." The old man laughed and got up from his chair. "Is it not?"
Nice story.
"I know. That's a good story." "I will take that." I am the greedy man once more, as I've learned about the nature.
Okay.
No, I'll return it.
Oops.
Rather apropos when I'm starting to do my Thieves Guild and I read a book like this. Okay, go.
Yes, it is.
Alright. I now have some information as well, and I've read a lovely book. So now I must go find a wood cabin and go find and seek out this man. But that'll be in the next one. Thank you for watching, or listening. Have a good one. See ya.